Hey everybody, it's Gil here with the sailing vessel DreamChaser, and in last week's episode we showed you a little lesson we learned the hard way by leaving a floor out of the bottom of the boat while we were doing work on it, and Deb fell and actually injured herself. Hopefully you watched that video. I think it's a good reminder for all of us about safety. You also saw me fly back home from New Jersey, where I've been taking care of my dad, to Louisiana, and we prepared the boat to go ahead and head east. We wanted to go ahead and make sure that if for some reason our largest of thru-hull openings, which is the 1.5-inch diameter discharge line for our waste treatment system, if that were to fail, we still have enough bilge pump capacity to remove all of that water. So if you didn't watch that video, hope you guys do enjoy it. In this week's video, we head east. We start heading our way to Florida. We'll take you along for that journey. We'll show you what we ended up doing there. We went and sound out some canals. We look for places to put the boat, and love to take you along on the journey.
Well, today's the day. Got the boat behind me, and I'm heading over toward the car. We're starting to load some stuff up. I've mentioned in videos before we're going to move on over to Florida, and we start with taking the camper over and trying to find the property we ultimately want to park the boat at. We're looking for waterfront property, as we've mentioned in previous videos. So today is that big day, and we've got the camper sitting out here in the parking lot. We moved it over here last night. Just loading up the last of our few items, and we'll hit the road this morning. It's about 6:15. Our goal was to be on the road by 7 this morning with the girls loaded up and ready to go. We'll see if we hit that, but yeah, we're all set up and squared away. Boy, things loaded down today. Oh, we got Chaz getting some of her stuff down. Well, adios for now, DreamChaser. We will be back shortly. Maybe a few months to sail you on over.
So you know that saying, the best laid plans of mice and men? So we were heading east on I-10, heading almost to Biloxi as we were on our way to Florida. And we're driving along in sort of a 4 lanes eastbound on the highway. We're in sort of the left center lane. And right, we'll come over a hill, and there's a bunch of boxes, 2-foot by 2-foot boxes in the road. Not a bunch, a few. And they're sort of sliding forward in our same direction and moving their way to the left. Again, I'm hauling a, I got 12,000 pounds or whatever behind me with the camper and everything else. I kind of veer a little bit over to the left to avoid the one that's on our right. There's also one on the left, so I sort of split the two of them. I get over a little bit. I managed to avoid that one. However, the car in the left lane clipped the one that was in the left lane in his front right quarter panel area. It shot over from his car right out in front of us, and as soon as it came over and we hit it, I saw the cardboard, the box kind of destroy. And I immediately heard a skidding sound, like a tire skidding. I continued to maintain control, never lost control of the vehicle, and I pulled, because I was in the left center lane, getting to the left shoulder was easier to do. I pulled over to the left shoulder, and I wanted to see what was going on. Ironically enough, I couldn't see what was in there. It didn't look like there was anything stuck under the vehicle. What the heck is this? So I got back in and I put it in reverse just to drive a little bit and see if it was still making that noise. Everything looked okay from underneath. And as soon as I did, I could hear that skidding sound again. Turns out this big metal thing, it's a metal drain that goes on a commercial roof, hit right in the front of the tire. It went up into the wheel well and wedged on the top side of the wheel well, ripped out all of that guard in there and kind of wedged between the tire and the frame of the vehicle. Luckily, we were able to maintain control. Luckily, the people whose truck it fell off of stopped. There were about 6 cars that were damaged from this on the highway in sort of various degrees. And the police got there, took everybody's report. Thankfully, we were completely safe. No major damage. A little bit of scratches, a little bit of inside rubber and plastic inside the fender well we'll have to have replaced. But all in all, we're all lucky, I think, that this wasn't worse. But let me kind of show you what some of these chunks of stuff looked like and sort of the scene on the highway here. Anytime we're traveling by car, if we're going to pass a Buc-ee's, which is a gas station, fast food, all kinds of snack foods, and place to just get all kinds of goodies, if we go to one of those, I always stop. And in this case, I told the kids they can go ahead and get something to eat and something to drink, and I'm on a little bit of a wild goose chase. Swab says he wants to show me something, and I am chasing her around to see what the heck it is. Where are we going? Somewhere special? To the motor oil? Should I still be following you? You going to the beer cooler? What's that about?
It's cool.
It is cool. Is that what you wanted to show me? All the nice Yeti cups. And yeah, if you have more money than you know what to do with, you can get yourself a Yeti dog dish for $50. Yep, a Yeti dog. Well, it was quite the adventure. I mean, we ran into this thing with, the vehicle on the highway. We stopped at all these little roadside stops, the Buc-ee's for snacks and whatnot. When I'm hauling this camper, I get a whopping 7.5 miles to the gallon, so I feel like I have to pull over and get fuel a lot. But we had actually a really good trip. We got a nice early start. We didn't dilly-dally around at most of our stops, and we went ahead and drove straight through. We probably arrived at about midnight, maybe a little after midnight. But it was nice to have that just kind of done. It gave us the next day to do a little bit of relaxing in the morning, which was really kind of nice given the whirlwind events of this particular week we're going to have before I have to fly back up to New Jersey. This is the winter months. This is the summer months, which is considered the off-season down in Florida. It's when the snowbirds that come down go back up to the north to where they live. And what that meant was we were able to get a really nice RV resort at a pretty good rate. So we went ahead and just booked it for a couple of months to be a nice little home base while we continue to look for places to bring the boat. It has really nice amenities. I'll take you on a little tour of it, but we have a great spot. It's close to the playground and the pool and all the things the kids will be able to use and enjoy, which is going to be wonderful. We got a nice little setup here for the next couple of months, right here in North Fort Myers. Kind of like the way we were set up in here underneath the trees. Nice, we have nice morning shade, a little bit of afternoon sun, but not too bad. I like these nice concrete patio. You park in the gravel, nice concrete patio. And yeah, with the awning out and picnic table out there, little table and chairs, we're all set. That's a nice little setup. We got the grill set up right here, awning out, and a couple of tables and chairs and the picnic table, and yeah, we're good to go. And go empty the black tank. It's just part of being in an RV. Yep, it's all just part of it. Whether it's the boat or the camper, you're dealing with your own poop and pee. So we're on a reconnaissance mission down in Cape Coral, Florida. We rented a pontoon boat. Got Deb back here. Hi, Deb. And we are sounding out a bunch of the channels so we can see what the depths are going to look like. That was sort of the plan. And then once we know what the water's like, we can figure out where we might ultimately want to look at houses. So that is the plan. We just got like a little 21-foot pontoon boat for the day. And it's nice. We're looking to have some fun today. Are you seeing any dolphins yet?
No, not yet.
All right, we'll keep looking.
We gotta keep
have our sun goddess who's wearing a sweatshirt and a blanket.
I have never seen a boat like that at all.
What are you doing, Swab? Can you see over the dashboard?
Imagine our surprise as we looked over and saw this boat. This is a boat named Ruthie. Happens to be one of our old boat neighbors from Kemah, Texas. They were out cruising and it received some extensive hurricane damage and they sold her. The surprises just kept on.
It's funny, it's the same paint scheme as ours. Yeah.
No, that's Navy, isn't it?
Cool, there's a rec center right in here. The kids can play in the rec center if they want. And the playground right around the corner here. We're close enough that I let McKinley walk over here by herself. She loves it. It's pretty much like the one they used to have over at Dan and Jones' house. Minus the swings, it looks like. Just on the other side of the rec room, we have the back side of the office and a really nice pool. I'm sure McKinley will take advantage of this nice little shallow grade in the pool down to 3 feet, so she can go playing around in here with Deb. And yeah, this will be real nice. A lot of places to sit out here, little tables and chairs. Real relaxing. It rained last night. We had some nice shuffleboard little courts here and ping pong table underneath the awning, and then there's your restrooms and showers right there if you want to use those. A nice gym in here, and nice billiards table, foosball, that cornhole boards over there. Wow, and a really nice laundry room here. It looks like there's 10 washers and 10 dryers. Very nice. Clean and all. Nice. And just like at a marina, we've got the little leave one, take one library here, which is always cool, right? So somebody came in and brought some different magazines, and all kinds of books. And we'll have to leave a few here for people as well. It's pretty wild to see this. There's definitely people that come here for just the season. So these folks have packed up for the summer. They've got a cover over there. So everything's packed up, and I suppose they'll be back next winter. That sort of snowbird thing. A lot of trees, a lot of shade. Means not quite a lot of breeze, but a little bit. See what's over this little bridge. They did say they don't want kids under 13 going around unaccompanied along the creeks here because of possible alligators, which I guess makes sense. You can definitely tell people stay here quite a while in the off season, which is what summer's the off season. November starts the high season for a spot, like a campground spot like we have with water, electric, sewer, and cable connection. It's $8.50 a month or so, and I think in the on season that goes up to 11 something. So, it's a little high. It's kind of what you pay in this area. Lots of people have these little bimini garages that you set up and take down pretty easily. Kind of a neat idea. You can see several people that aren't here. They'll have just the frames up, like this big fifth wheel right over here has the frame up right behind us, but not the actual cover on it. They'll probably just like that for the summer while they're not here. And heading back into our humble little abode. Right here. After sounding out all the canals, we took several pages of actual satellite images, Google Street Maps, as well as navigational charts. We printed them all off,
along with the overlay of the realtor listings in these particular waterfront home areas. While we were out sounding, as we would go down each channel, we would find the channel on the charts, and then on the actual Google map with the street names, Deb would go in and mark the depths as we went into these canals. Some of them would be good depth halfway up, but as you got to the very ends of them, they would be shallow. So we did that on about 5 different sort of inlets that go from the main water channel in either the river or, you know, from the bay that goes out to the Gulf of Mexico. We would sound them out, mark them on the charts, and that gave us the opportunity to then call the realtor that evening and say, okay, these are the areas or these are the homes we would like to be able to go look at, waterfront property lots. So we did just that, and the next day we went out and probably looked at about 9 or 10 houses. I put just a couple of quick samples in here so you can get a sense of it, but you know, certainly not a lot of detail here because I know who's interested in that, right? But yeah, it was kind of a neat way to do it. You know, we thought about hauling our dinghy down there and doing this in our dinghy. I'm actually glad we rented the pontoon boat because it would have been a little bit rough in the bay. You know, some of this area is fairly shallow, so you have to take the channel all the way in from a pretty good distance out. It was a little bit choppy, so we had a 21-foot pontoon boat. It was, you know, whatever, $350 or something like that for the day. We had a great time. We spent 8 hours on it. So we're out here on Gasparillo Sound. This is Bokeelia Island, which is on the north side of Pine Island. We really like this area, but way too shallow. This is beautiful, beautiful water. We actually saw dolphins swimming out here while we were out here. I think we'll go ahead and wrap up the video right here. I hope you guys enjoyed this week's video. It was really all about us getting eastward. It was the first step in going east. Obviously, with all of the assistance I've been providing my dad, it's changed a little bit about how Deb and I are maybe looking at houses. We're really having to do it sort of separately. So we looked at a number of those houses with the realtor while I was there, but I was only there for a day before I had to fly back up to New Jersey. So Deb now sort of has the information. She knows the water depths in the area. It was kind of cool. We put together a pretty good little scoring system around what houses we would like. You know, that starts with the yes, no, which is based on water depth and sailboat accessibility. And then there are a number of sort of criteria that we have, and each one of those has a point scoring on it. And we have our non-negotiables that fit into the yes, no, and then the other ones which are the nice to haves, like, you know, facing a certain direction so we get afternoon sun in the backside, the backyard of the home, you know, on the waterfront side. So little things like that I think are making it really good for Deb to continue to look. It is a little hard being able to look without someone there, right? So what'll happen is Deb will find one she really likes, or if she thinks that I would really like, and then she gets the GoPro and she does a complete walkthrough on it, along with water depths that she sounds out at the dock, at the bulkhead, etc. So we have a set of sticks, basically 5 pieces of PVC with 1-foot markings that will go together, so we can depth sound down to about 15 feet, and we can do that right from most of the docks or bulkheads at any of these lots we're looking at, which is really, really helpful. And then, you know, Deb will go talk to some of the neighbors that have decent sized boats and ask them what kind of depth they see coming in and out, if there's any challenges with tides, etc. So it certainly changed the way we are looking. But I'm going to wrap it up here. In next week's episode, I'll share with you a couple of additional homes that Deb has found that we really liked as I came back up to New Jersey. I decided to take my granddaughter Chastity with me, which has been kind of a neat experience. I'm going to take her to go see Hamilton on Broadway, so she's excited as can be about that. That'll be kind of fun. But we will see you guys next week. Thanks, everybody. Safe sailing, and thanks again for watching. Give us a thumbs up.